Lisa, I'm going to hand over to you. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it, guys. Hello. Okay, so look, I really just wanted to start off by saying that I've been in sales now for just over 2 years. I'd always worked in the background of our business, which has been operating for over 18 years, but you know, have just sort of jumped headfirst into sales just over 2 years ago. Together with my husband Mark, we've got our agency on the northern beaches of Sydney, Novak Properties, and look, we've always been really innovative. So innovation was nothing new, and I think we realise now more than ever how important innovation is during the pandemic. But I really just wanted to start by saying that I have been selling and listing 90% of my stock now off the back of social media. And it's really something that I just fell into. I never started in sales thinking that I was going to sell off the back of my social media. I really just fell into it. There was a couple of things that I saw from the outside looking in before I got into sales, and that was really that there was no pre-market opportunity out there for vendors. There was no way for them to just test the waters and you know, just test that market. And again, now more than ever, I think, you know, we see that that's apparent. And also there was nothing out there if vendors really just couldn't afford to spend money on marketing or had already been on the market and then needed to launch back out onto realestate.com. I just, you know, that sort of confused me. Like, what would they do if they'd already been to market? Would they just sort of come straight back onto the portals again and have to spend more money? The other thing was I had to really stand out. You know, I started in sales at the age of 46, and so I was coming up against some really heavy hitters in the industry. So I just really needed that point of difference. But what I want to do today with you guys is actually want to run through my top 5 tips on how I'm selling property and listing, because it's become a huge listing generator for me as well, right off the back of my social media. So let's start with number 1, shift your mindset. So this is the biggest question I get asked now by a lot of real estate agents is, how do you get over the fear of being in front of the camera? And look, it's nerve-wracking. I get it. It is nerve-wracking. I've done it a million times and I'm feeling nervous today, right? And I've done it a million times, but it's about shifting your mindset. That's the big thing. That was where the penny really dropped for me when I realized that being in front of the camera and doing these videos for my social media actually wasn't about me. It wasn't about people judging me. It was a job that I had to do for the clients. So when I had that mindset that it was about helping people and it actually had nothing to do with me, that's kind of when the penny dropped. So it's just shifting your mindset. Number 2, the polished version versus the authentic version. So social media does not love the Hollywood style production. People actually respect you on social media for giving them the authenticity. And so a lot of my video content that I'll do, and I know, John, you're always commenting a lot on it, thank you for that, is greatly about authenticity and really just giving people what they want. We have no attention span on social media. So there's no point giving people a polished video that takes 3 minutes of an intro about an agent, and that's not at all what the audience wants to hear. They want to see the authenticity and they want to see it, and they want to see it fast. So give them what they want. That's the social media audience. Consistency. Okay, so this is the hard one. So when you get over the fear of being in front of the camera, the consistency is actually a lot harder. Being consistent at anything is really hard, but particularly when you're actually trying to get a whole lot of stuff out onto social media. So a lot of agents contact me and say, listen, you know, this consistency, I don't know, like I tried it for a week and it just didn't work. If I tried exercising for a week, likely I'm not going to lose weight. So you've just got to keep at it. I was posting consistently for 6 months and truly believed that there was no one out there watching, until one day a lady who actually had followed me on social media, and I didn't know this, she'd never liked or commented on anything, she ended up buying a property after 6 months of watching me on social media. So consistency looks like 4 to 15 times a day of posting. That's what consistency looks like. We don't see an ad on TV once and then never see it again. The followers and the likes and the comments. So guys, this is the fake news, okay? We all get caught up on no one liked my post, no one commented. I still don't get a lot of likes or comments. And I certainly don't have that many followers when you consider the amount of business that I'm doing right off the back of my social media. So I now know that it's not about the likes or the comments nor the followers. And it's hard for us to get into it now because we don't have a huge amount of time, but it's the engagement. So if Facebook and Instagram see that the world engages with your content, they will continue to serve that content out to the world. All right, you got to trust me on that one. It's not to do with the likes, the comments, or the followers. Okay, so if ever, and I can't see everyone, but if you guys can all just hold your phones up, that's it. That's all you need. Everyone asks me about how many devices do I have and what do I use. All you need is your mobile phone and your arm. They're the things that you have with you all the time. Don't get caught up on a million gadgets. I have them all and I use absolutely none of them. All right, guys, here's my recommendations for selling right off the back of social media. The three big ones are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You've got to be right across all of them. They're like three different TV channels appealing to three different audiences. So Facebook's the big one because you can do a whole lot more on Facebook, but you must be across all of them. To boost or not to boost, another question I get asked a lot. So social media, it's like any other portal. You know, if you put a property up onto realestate.com, likely you're going to see traction quite quickly and then it's going to taper off. And social media is exactly the same. So if I'm not seeing that immediate inquiry that I would like to see off the back of my social media, I'll put a little bit of money, my own money, behind it, and I will boost those posts, about $20 or $30. All right, and I'll keep it to a nice tight radius around the property, about 5 kilometers around the property. Number 3, going live versus the authentic, just, you know, the static sort of video. Guys, you've got to go live. Facebook loves live video content and you've just got to put yourself under the pump. You can save your live video and it will go through to your camera roll, but you must go live. And then you can repurpose that video and use it later on right across your other social media channels. All right. So how do I do this? What I do is I actually have 2 marketing platforms. So I've got my pre-market, which is my plan A, and that's where I actually put the property out to my social media with a $0 marketing. So I'll list the property on my $0 marketing strategy, and then it goes out to my social media network, and 90% of my properties are sold there. Okay, so there's no guarantee that we're going to sell on plan A, and then my plan B is really just the generic marketing that most agents out there would be using. It's realestate.com and nice photos, but my plan A is underpinned by a really good plan B, because it's really what most agents are using out there as their only plan. All right, so just to be clear, I'm not in competition with realestate.com. What I do is, or domain, what I do is actually a pre-market opportunity that's been really successful. Vendors love it. They don't have to pay any money for marketing at that stage. And the buyers love it because they've got the opportunity to buy before we actually effectively launch out to realestate.com or domain. All right, so 90% of stock is sold that way. The personal versus the business page on Facebook. It's another question I get asked a lot. You know, a lot of people say, look, Lisa, I don't know, what do I do with my personal Facebook page? I mirror them now. So what I realized when this became very, very successful was that a lot of people were going online and doing that digital interview on me. And so the last thing I wanted was them seeing me drinking a gin and tonic on a Sunday, right, on my personal page. So I chose then to match those pages so they each mirror one another. You can do a lot more on your Facebook business page. Tom, you'll know that. You know, that's where you can do all your sponsors and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, for me personally, it's about just mirroring those pages and making sure that they look identical. So guys, if I can leave you with one thing today, it's that you've just got to get over the fear of being in front of the camera, and you've got to be authentic. And there's no one out there that can teach you how to be authentic. It's not Tom, not John, not myself. That's only you. Only you can teach yourself how to be authentic. people will respect you for it. They'll appreciate the authenticity. And once you actually get over the fear of just being in front of the video and being yourself, you're actually in an amazing place. You really are in an amazing place.
Lisa, that's outstanding. And one of the questions that's come in from Alexis Hay is plan A always just 1 week? So roughly, what's the plan for the period before you go portal?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Look, what I find, Tom, is that it actually happens quite quickly. So the fastest I've ever sold a property off the back of social media has been 6 hours. It does happen very quickly. I call it instant media, actually, not social media. If I'm not getting that traction, I'll usually suggest that we run that plan A for about 2 weeks. Although, as I said, 90% of the time we're actually sold within that period, but 2 weeks. And then I'll look at launching out to plan B.
Okay, there's a quick question here on photography, and John, I'll then hand over to you. Who's paying for the photography of your properties?
Okay, so I've got a lovely in-house lady, Nikki. She's actually here on the side of me at the moment. So Nikki actually does all of my in-house photography now. She's in-house to all of us here at Novak. Nikki will come around, she'll do all of my photography. But guys, use your iPhone, you know, or use your Samsung. I love an iPhone because they've got great cameras, but just use your phone. It's what you've got with you all the time. And if you don't have access to an in-house photographer like I do, that's so good.
Did I hear 4 to 15 times a day you're posting?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, John. You know, it's Tom, when he first started training us really early on, he said, Lisa, you got to prospect. And I said, Tom, I'm not going to be on the phones prospecting. It just doesn't resonate with me. So my prospecting is my social media. It's my listing tool, my selling tool, my prospecting tool. It's my marketing tool. So it's about 3 to 5 hours a day, every day of the week, even when I'm on holidays. People will never see photos of me in Africa, which is where I was for 4 weeks in December. It's non-stop social media. Yeah, a lot of posting.
Lise, when do you sign the property up at the listing in the lounge room? Do you immediately take the video? Do you take it like when the photos are taken a few days later? What is the time? Do you have a particular time, or you just take it whenever you fit it in?
Immediately. So the beauty about it is that you can actually, as soon as, of course, we've got the signed agreement and contract of sale, there's absolutely no downtime whatsoever. So I can get that property immediately out to the world. That's the great thing about it, you know. I can be there doing my videos straight away and getting it straight out to the world, no downtime. So what I find, John, is usually when, you know, a lot of agents are waiting for photographers and photos to come back, often I've sold a property or had a really good offer come through in that period of time.
One last one, then I know Tom might have a couple of questions from the crowd before we wrap up. Plan A, which is predominantly social, signboard and Novak website. Is that plan A or plan B?
Plan A, yeah, really good question actually. So plan A is obviously a lot of social media. I've also got a pre-market signboard now. I've got a whole heap of pre-market signboards, so that will go up. It includes professional photography with our own in-house photographer and launching out to the whole Novak database as well. That all comes into plan A.
That's gold. Well, Lisa, I know you come from a family of innovators and entrepreneurs, and I know your dad would be very, very proud of this.
Oh, thank you, John. That's lovely. Thank you.
That's an outstanding presentation. Is your Facebook and Insta tied up to each other, or do you tailor different content for Facebook, different for Insta?
So I don't have time to, I wish I did have time to tailor it for every single one, but no. Usually I'll do my Facebook live video, save it, and then just repost it right across all those other channels, Insta, LinkedIn. I know there's different languages for all of them, and I try as best I can. But the main thing for me is just getting that content out. Again, they're 3 really different audiences, you know, they really are, and you'll know that, Tom. They're really different audiences, but the idea is just get the content out.
Hey, listen, Lisa, you have been incredible, a role model. Basically, you say start where you're at. You don't need a videographer. You don't need $27,000 of camera equipment, right? Too many people are saying, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm not professional enough. You basically just said, do it regularly, do it consistently, be you. There's no better than you. And John, I've got to say, this 1 hour, outstanding, John. I look forward to seeing you next week. Lisa, outstanding.
Pleasure.
Thank you to all the team behind the scenes at AREC. Guys and girls, signing off. See you soon.
See you guys.